Okay, what's up, loves? It's a new day that the Lord has made. Gotta thank my Trinity. Thank y'all, Trinity. Hallelujah, amen. For the ones that rock me, let me tell y'all the truth. Let's get this great debate. For the ones that don't, you missed out. 21 guns salute. We still gonna keep it very raw, respectful, uncut, and cute. Now, this is my correction to my Lil Phat video because in the end, I end up saying Lil Phat and I was supposed to say Big Scar. Okay, because the cases tie in. Now, I just found out that I'm a conspiracy theorist, and the FBI said I could solve my case by using the World Wide Web, and law enforcement will tell you that it's no coincidence in murders. And for me, something ain't right about the Lil Phat assassination. Okay, now I personally believe, because of my faith-based intelligence and my God-given gifts and talents, that Lil Phat was set up and assassinated. Now, if you go back in that day when he was killed, it was buzzing that Boosie had allegedly sacrificed him. And Kanye West did come on out years later and said y'all can send y'all little Boosies, letting us know that Lil Boosie is part of the club. Don't come for me, go for the World Wide Web or somebody else. I'm just putting the case together. Now, I watched the documentary about Lil Phat on some series that the Atlanta PD was doing, and it's called The Lil Phat Story. Okay? Now, again, there's no coincidence in murders. Go watch The Dark Secrets of the Music Industry, and it's written in the Bible they will sell their souls and their kids' souls, contracts, the wealthy, wicked. So don't come for me, go for the Bible, go talk to God about it. I think independently, and I may be a conspiracy theorist to a certain extent, right? However, okay, now, Lil Phat has moved from the streets of New Orleans to Atlanta. He is chasing his music career. He has a new baby on the way. He is happier than he has ever been. He is at the height of his career, like Tupac Shakur and King Von. It's no coincidence in murders. What all these men have in common, and what connects all these men is they sign contracts. Okay. Now, Lil Phat is in Atlanta. He's living his best life. He's following his music career. He's living his dream. He has a baby on the way. He has rented this car from this luxury car dealership that has mob ties, okay, and a lengthy criminal history. He has a criminal history so far back that the judicial system is called to end his career if he come before them one more time, right? So, in the meantime, Lil Phat has moved to Atlanta, and he is chasing his music career. He has rented a black Audi from this company, correct? He gets pulled over. Lil Phat has a court date. Now, it's no coincidence that Lil Phat was set up and murdered. Because it's linked right back to that car and that man not being able to continue his shady drug dealer ties, because we know the mob dealt in everything, right? And if you go look at the history of J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI, it's all mob tied, okay? And if you look at the assassination of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, it's the FBI and the mob linked up in that, okay? So, and if you go back to the judicial system history and what it has done to the black man and assassinating the black man, it's no coincidence in murders. Lil Phat assassination is not so far-fetched, okay? They don't forget nothing that you did. I don't care if you don't be done did enough for 10 years. They keep bringing up everything you did from the very first time that you have entered into their system. Okay, so let's go back, and we gotta pay attention to all the facts and all the truth about the judicial system, the mob, the CIA, the FBI, and assassinations of black people. Okay, so he is in Atlanta. He has rented this car from this dealership that has no more chance to go before the judicial system. You know, they fed up with him. You got one more strike and you're out. That means he will no longer, his front car dealership, luxury dealership, will no longer be his front for him to commit all these crimes and money launder. Right? Okay. So, in the meantime, he tells the Atlanta drug dealers, this is all on the documentary that the Atlanta PD has released called the Lil Phat murder. Okay? Because at the time, his death really bothered me and I never knew what happened to Phat, right? But I knew it was something sinister. So, he rented this car. Now, he is at the hospital because his fiance and him, they're having their first child. And you could tell from her story what she don't say that Phat was not on none of the stuff that these Atlanta PD sit down and narrated in this story that don't make sense. It only makes sense to people that believe everything that the media say, okay? Malcolm X said the media is their biggest weapon. Tupac Shakur said the media is full of dirty tricks. If you believe everything that the media tell you, the police and all that, if you go watch what happened to Lil Phat on their documentary when the Atlanta PD is telling his story, then you shouldn't come back to this video because it's not going to do you any good, okay? However, he is at the height of his career. He's living his dreams. He is no longer living that life. But Phat posted a video with this certain weapon, okay, on social media. That's why I say Big Scar and Phat cases was linked for me, okay? So Phat earlier had posted a video on social media with the same gun. He rented this black Audi from this shady mob-tied drug dealer front man car dealership. Luxury front man, his luxury dealership was his front for his mob ties, criminal drug dealer activities. That's how he knew. And he had trackers on all the cars. So he knew every move. Phat, he knew the drug dealers, and the drug dealers no doubt was renting these luxury cars because he was linked to the mob to run drugs for him. Okay? So he ended up having trackers on all these cars. He set Phat up. Because if you go watch the story, for people that think independently, it makes sense, okay? So he tells the drug dealers that Phat robbed them, and you know they use the same gun that Phat has placed on social media, okay? They use the same car that Phat got caught in, that he was going to court for, right? Because when Phat got pulled over in the court, in that car, it set a court date up for this man, for Phat to go to court, but it wasn't his car. It was the rental car of the shady mob character. Car. One more chance and he was done. I mean, he had no more chances and he was done. So Phat was that for him. So he ended up telling the drug dealers they tried to assassinate Phat 2 nights in a row. The first night they didn't get him. The second night they ended up getting him. And they end up going to jail. Phat is murdered and nothing happens to this man, okay? Because he cooperated with the police. But this is why I know he set him up to be killed. Because as soon as Phat is killed, he calls the court and tells the court they can throw the case out because he is dead. He has been murdered. I'm not even in the law enforcement industry, and that shit flags and shockwaves up for me. And yet, they tell us in the documentary how shady he was, how he had ties to the mob, and how he had one more chance to go back before the court system, and his career was over. That's who killed Phat, okay? Now, did Boosie sacrifice him? I have no clue. But Kanye West did say Lil Boosie was most definitely part of the club. So, and the FBI did say it's no coincidence in murder, right? And if they want you gone, they will set up a scenario, as we've seen in the Tupac Shakur case, Michael Jackson, Prince, King Von, and anybody else, and tell y'all what they want y'all to believe, and y'all will buy it. Just like with the Martin Luther King assassination. Okay? Now, they tell us that man, Ozzy Walls, whoever he is, assassinated Martin Luther King. That man said he did not do that. Okay? That man died in prison. Now, several stories has came out about what happened to Martin Luther King. First story I seen was he did not die of that gunshot wound. He was smothered in the hospital. This person that did it was found on the World Wide Web. The person that did this video had a picture of Martin Luther King waving after he had got shot. Okay? They said the hospital smothered him, and then the family settled out of court. Next story I seen was this year. The bullet went through his neck and came this way and that way. And the family went to court and settled for $2 because the man that the media, which Malcolm X said is full of, their biggest weapon, Tupac Shakur said is full of dirty tricks, said that this man killed him. Didn't kill him. And the CIA, the mob wanted, was it Martin Luther King? Or did they want Malcolm X too? The CIA, the mob, and the FBI or somebody. However, y'all gotta go watch the documentaries. I don't know. However, they will set up a scenario, have you killed, and tell people what they want them to know. That don't mean that's the truth about what happened to you. And if we go back to the judicial system history and assassinations of black men and all the facts of these cases, then we can't trust what these people tell us. We ain't never been able to trust what these people been telling us about the assassination of nobody. So don't come for me, go for the Bible, go for the media, go for the lies that people be telling. I'm just putting this case together. Like FBI said I could, using the World Wide Web. And Lil Phat was most definitely set up by that shady car dealership mobster. Okay? And they can't tell me that he wasn't. Because anytime, as soon as he's killed, that makes your case go away. And then, by the time the drug dealers figure out that it was you, they in prison. So, they can't even, tell their story or say, listen, he set this all up. Now they can sit back and go on, well, how would this know? And he went so far as to place the drugs in Phat's house. But remember, he had a tracker on the car. He knew Phat whereabouts at all times. Because Phat rented another car from him. He kept renting the car because Phat had no clue of what he had got himself in. Okay? So that's how the drug dealers knew that Phat was going to be at that hospital and to go and assassinate their boy. Okay? Because he was at the hospital because his fiance was having their first child. And when you watch her story, you can tell by the stuff that she is not saying that he was no longer thinking about anything that was going on in the streets of New Orleans. Now, if you know about being in the streets and having to, when you're in those kind of environments, having to tote those tools, you know. It ain't, you don't even have to be about that life, but if you're going to be in those areas, you need to be able to protect yourself by any means necessary. So just because Lil Phat was posting guns on social media and he was from New Orleans, that don't mean that he was an actual stepper like the media and people want y'all to think, okay? And he was a rapper. That don't mean that he was actually that way, okay? So you can't believe everything that these people tell you. But yes, Lil Phat was absolutely set up and killed. And is industry hits real? Absolutely. Go watch the dark secrets of the music industry. Sometimes you're worth more dead to those folks than you are alive. And they have insurance clauses in them. What all these dead artists have in common is they sign contracts. Okay? So, don't come for me. I'm just a conspiracy theorist person that could think independently and don't believe everything the media, the police, or nobody tell me. Because I know from the presidents to the Pope to the police, they're humans and they lie. And if you track the FBI history, that's why they conviction rate is so high. You could only, if you track the FBI history, they go back to J. Edgar Hoover. They go back hand in hand with J. Edgar Hoover. So that's a system that's created by the wicked and the evil. Okay? And you can tell that J. Edgar Hoover is wicked and evil by the fruits of his labor. They go for anybody else. That's biblical. Don't come for me, go for the Bible. And I have a right to support good versus evil. Okay? And that's all I'm trying to do. Don't come for me, go for the Bible, go talk to God about it. So, yes, the history, if we go back on the history, this stuff ain't far-fetched. And since they know ain't no coincidence of murders, it's somebody that's a more sinister serial killer than King Von could ever be, right? Now, until the next time, don't come for me, go for the Bible, go do your own research, come to your own conclusion, and be blessed to be a blessing to others. And I am going to do my big scar video because it ties into the Lil Phat. Be careful of what you post on social media, because they will take that very thing and use it against you to take you out, and nobody will ever question. You know, just go back to the Tupac Shakur case. Period. Now, I'm out.